Okay, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome for the first time per usual. So good to see you. If you are here, be sure to say hi in chat so I can say hello to you. There are a bunch of you guys that were here already, but how are you guys doing? Happy Wednesday, happy Second Life 101 day. If you're brand new to the channel, basically this series is kind of geared towards new residents, but it's also a time where we all just get to learn new things about things in Second Life. So let me see who's here. Before I jump into who's here, let me do my really quick new subby shout out. I feel like we got a whole bunch, so I'm just gonna like speed through these real quick. So Nightmare, Gianna Isabel, Chanel Richardson, Aaliyah Rose, Lena New, That Wizard Bro, Carrie Catlick, Kristen Foxtrot, Jasmine Green, Ariana Chamberlain, Kiyupti, Miyaka Gamezone, Abigail Michelle, Jasmine Minnick, Didi, K Jai, Dazine Hampton, Kings Gaming Only, Khalil Kashmir, Mommy's Devil, MV, Mary J, JD, Herbert, Nelson, Is Sweet Devil, Shelly Burke. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. Yes! Let's have a yes moment. But I'm super excited. So today we are going to be diving into all things roleplay. We're going to talk about all the things and like how to roleplay. I want to know where you guys roleplay, what you like to do. By no means am I the roleplay expert. It has honestly been a couple years since I've roleplayed in SL, but I'm super excited for it. But let me see who is here. I saw some names. I saw Hey Tori, Manit, Daryl. I'm not gonna like read everybody's names right now, but hey to everybody. Amanda B, Money Man, I saw y'all. Sorry if I didn't say your name. I just feel like I don't want to spend like 5 minutes saying names, but hey y'all, hey Keela, hey Choi, hey Anastasia. But see, look at that. Like I said, I don't want to spend all this time saying names for the same names. Anywho, excited about two things. One, I'm excited about finally talking about roleplay because you know, guys, I kind of joined Second Life 2 roleplay, but also I'm going to be showing you guys a little sneak peek of the new sim. So you know, we've been talking about the sim for ages. One fun fact, the sim is going to be completely enabled for roleplay. So if you like to roleplay, hopefully this will be your new home. But let's get to the basics. What do we want to do? Let me show you some things first. So basically, the sim is absolutely not finished. Reina and I are putting our blood, sweat, and tears into this. We are building this completely ourselves. It will be opening up for early access. Look at floating rocks. I tried to get them all out of the way, but it didn't happen. But it'll be opening for early access peeps this weekend, so people who are on the wait list will be able to see it first. It is very loosely inspired by some of my favorite places in LA. We're talking about like DCLA, Abbot Kinney, I don't know, all the fun things. Hey Matthew, if you guys are from Los Angeles, this will look very familiar to you. These are literally all over the town in so many cool places. But today we're going to talk about it. So I kind of want to walk through what the different types of roleplay are, because you know, there's so many different types of role players within Second Life. You have people that just kind of, you know, assume a lifestyle and role play with their friends and family. You have people that actually do like para role play, or you have people that, you know, really are into immersive role play. Immersive role play is my favorite. That's where you kind of create a character, you assume a life, really ignore the floating rocks. Final touches here. But look at it, this is gonna be so cute. I just started building this dock down here because that's where the tennis is gonna happen. Super stoked about that. But yeah, immersive roleplay, you really like, you know, you create a character, you kind of speak as your character, you talk about all their actions and all of that fun stuff. Hey baby bun. So we're going to talk about all that. Everything from character creation, how to emote, what emoting is, all the fun stuff. You guys, this is the Vanderbilt. The Vanderbilt is coming to the new city. Super stoked. I'm going to actually go in here. I'm barefoot. I felt like we didn't need shoes for this. So let's talk about it first. So do you guys roleplay already? But let's start. Where do we want to start? So basically the different types of roleplay. So you have your people who just like to write. Oh my god, yes, Manit. Strip tennis part 2. But you have people that like to write. So you create a character. So that's the first thing. There are people who either play Second Life as themselves, and there are people who like completely create a new character. Let me see. I'm trying to like move stuff around on my screen so I don't lose you. Hey, Gail. But see, so Bruna, so I'm like a mix. I like both para, like, but para is different. So that's what we're gonna talk about a little. So para isn't just like typing and trying to find all the stuff to type. Para really is about like taking your turn to get things out. And by the time you get to your point, you've already written so much. So yes, tennis murder mystery. So let's first talk about just character creation, I think. Oh my gosh, Cole. Yes, you'll have to try it here. Because that's the thing I'm thinking about most. As like I start creating the sim, I'm like, okay, what's my character going to be all about? It's obviously going to be Meela. I'm going to tie her story here into the Vanderbilt Diaries series that I have on the channel. So it's going to be very much Meela's story. But when you're creating a character, like, I don't necessarily make it personal. I try to make some characteristics a little different than myself, so I really feel like I'm getting into a whole different character. But you know, you get to do fun things like you can develop your character's personality. The one thing that's really fun is to try to figure out like what led your character to wherever you are. So Bayside, that's the name of our city. It's called Bayside City. We didn't get all that creative. I didn't even realize until after I told Ray, and she was like, Bayside. I was like, yeah, I just made the website. And she was like, isn't that the name of Saved by the Bell? And I was like, oh shit, y'all. But anyway, first thing you want to do is kind of read a backstory. So I'm going to hopefully show the right screen here. Watch it not. Yes, right screen. All right, so this is our website for Bayside City. A really good thing, some of the most popular places within Second Life to roleplay usually have a website and you can read the city's backstory. So that's usually where I start off. I read a city's backstory to see if that's where I want to be. I tried to make ours a little interesting, not too long. It's also written in the perspective of someone giving you a tour and welcoming you to the city for the first time. So read the backstory and then first try to figure out. Cool, Skylar, thank you so much for the super chat. Should we get a yes? Did OBS even tell me I had a super chat? I had no idea. Ah, there it is. Look at simultaneous yasses. I am so here for it. Thank you, boo. But yeah, first thing, figure out what brought your character to this city. So the whole story with Bayside City is one, it's just your normal average kind of city. It's kind of California inspired. It's very LA inspired, but not like bougie, but just like real LA. There's some realness around the town. But there are half the town doesn't know how they got here. So half the town kind of just appeared. I totally took the inspiration from that show. I think it was the 100 where they all just showed up in this town one day. I had no idea how they got there. But there are two different types of people. There are people that just appeared and there are people that kind of somehow their story led them to Bayside for whatever reason. Caveat to the people who just appeared, for whatever reason they can't leave. So it's like the city's got this weird curse that nobody wants to talk about because no one believes in anything supernatural, but some weird shit's going down. So the first thing to think about is like, how did you get to Bayside? Like, what led you here? So I would have a look at the sim first, read the sim's backstory, figure out how you got there, and kind of write your introduction. So I used to always write my like introduction to whatever city this was and throw that as a pic in my profile. I don't think I have any more pick space left, but how do I even look at my profile on Black Dragon? Profile. So you have this picks tab. When you're role playing, it's really useful to make use of these picks. So you only get 10. I'm gonna have to delete one to make like room for my character, but you get to put like your character's name, age, how you found the place where you are, or maybe you don't feel like saying you just arrived at the city. Maybe you feel like you've lived here for the past 10 years of your life, you know, whatever you want to do. Just create a story. What we're going to do fun at Bayside is if you guys use the hashtag Bayside City RP, we're going to start pulling all of your like introductory stories and putting them on the website so other people can start to get to know your character. So it's almost like we're all writing this story together. Bundles, yes, my cheeks did bring everybody together. And yes, I'm totally going to live on this sim. But yeah, read the backstory, whether it's Bayside or anywhere you go, read the backstory and kind of build your character to fit in. And then think about like characteristics. Are they going to be kind of rebellious? Are they going to be a borderline criminal? Is there going to be a reason for them to get arrested? I always put a prison or a jail in every like roleplay sim I go to because like I like the idea of being able to get arrested. So on this sim, we actually have a police department. Don't judge it. I haven't like completely finished it. But we have our little police department. Ignore all the tracking and deploying. But there's everything here. So say you want to be a cop. Maybe you've lived here for 10 years. You're on the police squad. Or maybe you're the chief. Because, you know, it's a new sim. So we're going to have all these positions available. You get to be literally whoever you want to be. There are jail cells in here somewhere. I don't know where. Oh, is it back here? Yes. But there are jail cells. I remember I used to play in Dead End. Dead End, I don't know if Dead End's still around. I know Crackton is, but I got arrested in both of those. And I was literally in jail. So usually what happens when you're on roleplay and you end up in jail, every time you log in and go to the sim, you like go back to the jail. So you can stay there and develop your story until like you get bailed out or have your day in court or whatever. But that's my favorite part, creating a character. Why do they even exist? What their little backstory is. You know, and don't get too caught up in like trying to write it all out. Just really like stick to the basics. Only write enough to explain maybe a little about your personality and like how you got there. If you have any physical appearance or like things like, I remember I used to see people that wore float text even say like how they smelled or what their accent was so people could really play with it. You know, that's the fun part of it. That's the only thing you prepare in advance. Everything else is kind of on the fly. That's what's fun about roleplay. You kind of write it out on the fly. So that's character creation. I'm trying to figure out at what point do I want to get into emoting, because we're going to get into emoting as well. But I think maybe just some roleplay basics. I feel like there are general rules of roleplay that we all go by in Second Life that we just assume everyone else knows. But I don't know like how I learned about them. I feel like I learned them in roleplay. It's not voice. Well, I don't voice, but you can. So when people come to like the Vanderbuilt and they're at Faith and Flower Dining, I've seen people roleplay on voice so many times. So that's also an option if you just want to roleplay on voice. Totally up to you. I think for Bayside, I'm not going to restrict it to any particular roleplay style, and I'm not restricting it to roleplay. So you may come across people who aren't necessarily roleplaying; they're just enjoying the sim. So I'm going to always leave the actual I'm going to create a roleplay group, so if you're roleplaying, you know who other people are that are roleplaying. But yeah, voice will be allowed here. Again, if people are doing text and you're the only one on voice, it might not work. You might have to find other people to roleplay on voice. Vanderbilt Prison. Vanderbilt Prison is coming right now. But yeah. So there are two types of like, I don't know, text. So I'm going to focus on text right now. If you guys want to voice roleplay, go for it. Y'all know I'm probably not going to be responsive to voice roleplay. Because for me, I like para. Only because I think it just keeps things nice and organized. You have turns and all that. We'll get into it real quick. And Bruna, like, I feel you. I don't have an accent, but I just don't like voice in worlds. I very rarely voice in worlds. But when we're talking about text roleplay, you have two types of basically ways of speaking. So there's in character or IC. You'll always hear people refer to things as like IC. So that means you're completely in your character. You're speaking as your character. All of your communication is as your character. And there's out of character, which is OOC. So sometimes when you're like, say you're role playing, you're emoting, you're in character, but you have to say something like "be right back" or anything like that, then that would be out of character. Yeah, this is not, no, it's a moderate sim. So this one, families are technically allowed here. It's just moderate. Yes, Jim Hopper. But for example, so one thing to know, so a lot of people that role play in Second Life do it via emotes. So emoting is literally just the process of describing your action and your dialogue and all of that. Am I yelling, y'all? I didn't ask y'all how I sounded. At some point I always feel like I'm yelling. But so say, it's so hard because there's so much here. I'm gonna actually open an IM box with maybe a Kello, since I don't be talking to a Kello. And usually people roleplay in local. That's the easiest way. Usually what I do, because you never know if someone's like present or not, because people go AFK all the time. So I usually, if I can't tell if they're there or not, I'll IM them something out of character. A lot of people leave their IMs as one, either out of character or in character as texts. But usually when you're writing for roleplay, you use like the me command. I don't know what the best way to show you this is. I feel like I need maybe a note card. Let's pull up a note card. So when you're actually role playing and you're using it via text, of course you have the option just to type as you normally would. And yep, India, even if you don't live here, you can come and role play, because there's limited housing anyway, and I want as many people to be able to role play as you want, because I feel like that'd be the cool environment to live in. But when you roleplay, so we use the /me command. This is also why if you're brand new to Second Life and people randomly like put the word me in front of their sentences and you're like, what's wrong with you? It's because they're using the /me command, which is actually built into our viewers to recognize that as roleplay text. So people usually start off whatever their sentence is. So I'll show you what this looks like in local in a minute, but basically putting /me, that's going to be replaced by your actual name. So it'll say, so say I say /me walked into the restaurant. Can you guys see this? That's super tiny. I'm so sorry if it is. I don't think I can increase the font though. But so /me walked into the restaurant. If I actually put that in local chat, it's just going to say Meela Vanderbuilt walked into the restaurant. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to put it in local. So it kind of changes it. It italicizes it. So that way you can, it feels like you're actually building a story. Let me catch up on chat real quick. The rentals are not yet available on the website. So we have a wait list for people that want to rent. There is a wait list link there. Just add your name, because what we're going to do first is we're going to bring everyone from the wait list to the sim to have a look at all the places, see if they like it, and then they could do their renting first. If there are spots left over, then we'll put those on the website. So Meela Vanderbilt walked into the restaurant. So the thing about like, so that's in character. That's what we would consider in character. Say I did that. So say we're in like the middle of all this chatting and I'm like, oh crap, I really got to go to the bathroom. I'm like, BRB. You can either, so a lot of people type out the italics. So people usually put out of character stuff in italics. So it can look like that. And you can just enter that in. Or if you just type whatever you put and hold down Alt and enter. Oh shit. I forgot I'm on Black Dragon. Alt enter is not the same. Dang, y'all. I didn't mean to shout. Usually you can hit Alt enter. I forgot I switched from Firestorm to Black Dragon. Oh yeah, baby man, you have to. So if you're working at any type of club that does text roleplay, you're gonna have to know how to emote. And emoting is using the /me command. So let's like write out something a little longer. So you literally follow like the rules. Ray said okay. But you just like follow the rules of text. So you would, instead of just like walking in and saying, hey everyone, because you're role playing, like granted you could say that, but you kind of want to explain what brought you to that. So I walked into the restaurant, noticed the crowd around me. Maybe you can kind of explain what you're feeling a little bit. Anything that could be like obvious to other people that you want them to notice about you. So walked to the restaurant, noticed the crowd around me. We usually speak in the third person. So like she was nervous, maybe was nervous. This was her first time in a social setting since she moved in. And then I would say like anxiously made her way across the room. So now I'm like describing what I look like so people can respond to it. The more you can say about yourself that allows other people to respond, the like easier it's gonna be for the conversation to flow, the easier it's gonna be for people to figure out like what to say back to you. So anxiously made her way across the room, sat down at the bar and waved the bartender over. And then you kind of want dialogue, because I'm going to tell you in a minute like about the rules of roleplay, but anything you're thinking people can't really respond to. You have to actually say dialogue, unless it's like something you're like obviously conflicted with. But whatever, say, can I get a Long Island's iced tea? And that would be my first emote. So that would be like my introduction. It's not that long. I feel like, you know, some places are para, but your first like emotes into them sometimes are a bit shorter. So that's what it would look like. It would italicize to indicate that this is roleplay. That's my full emote. I always suggest people, like, you have like 3 parts of your emote. You have one, just descriptive text, so showing what you're doing, something to like reference what you're feeling or like what's obvious in terms of temperament, and then of course dialogue. Let me read bundles. Slap box the hobo down the street defending my honor while my lace front was slipping. I am so here for it. The lace front will be slipping. Oh yeah, Bruna, people do that. We don't do that at the monarchy though. But yeah, so that's like how you put together your emote. And I think, you know, the more you do it, just the more comfortable you'll get. Some tips when like trying to enter a scene, because sometimes when you walk into a roleplay place, people are already role-playing. So you're like, how the heck do I even enter this? Hey, Fiverr. It's really useful to just like, also sometimes they're just silent. I write in the past tense. I don't like writing in present tense, honestly. It's up to you how you want to do it. There's no rule around it. People are different on it. I don't like writing in present tense. I always write in past tense. But I don't know. And I think a lot of the people that I know roleplay in past tense. I think all the Sims I've gone to, I've noticed. Jasmine, it depends on your club. If it were my club, yes, unless the client asks you to emote to them in IMs, because usually what happens in the clubs, the client will come in, he's tipping a bunch of different people. You know, he don't want a bunch of IMs coming into him, so usually they do it in local, especially so you go, like, different people can play off of each other. So always that, but a lot of clubs, that's not the rule. A lot of people say, you know, ask the client what they want, but, you know, whatever you want to do. If you're at the monarchy though, absolutely always local. Matthew, that's exactly how I used to feel. So when I first came to Second Life, I didn't roleplay until I discovered Rocky Valley, and then I was like, okay, how do I even get into the scene? I would honestly just wave. Like, I would always walk up like Meela Vanderbuilt waves. That's how, one, I could see if anyone was there, and then the people that are already in the scene, that gives them the opportunity to welcome you in, so you don't feel super awkward. Also, if you're the person that's already in the scene and you see someone awkwardly coming in, acknowledge them. Like, say something directly to them. That helps the roleplay just start. So it really is like it's like teamwork. Why can't I think of that? Yeah, some people are gonna like first person. I always do third person past tense, but that's also probably just my writing style. Like I told y'all, I write. I don't write under the name Meela Vanderbilt. I feel like I need to bring that up because someone else wrote a story with my name, my full name, and I came across it recently. I was like, I did not write this. But yeah, I used to write fiction, and everything I write, like, so I used to write novels and short stories. Actually, I need to stop saying used to. I've just been at like major writer's block. But I write third person past tense for the most of it. Man needs, yeah, people do emote when they're not tipped because a lot of people are there for the role play. They like creating the entire scene, so they have to like really create their environment, because you'll notice like that's really your text is what creates a scene. Like, you know, you could walk back and forth or walk around and do whatever with your avatar, but it really is your text that kind of sets the scene. So a lot of people will emote even when not tipped just to set the scene. Granted, they're not going to engage with people, they're not going to start removing clothes, they're not going to do any of that extra stuff, but they're going to set the scene. So you'll notice a lot of people emoting. But yeah, my recommendation when you're entering a scene, just like say something light. I think even just saying that you walked in and you wave to the people around you, or you made eye contact with someone, you would do that. Nope. So actual dialogue. So if you put things in like quotations, that's going to be recognized as dialogue. So if you put it in quotes, the other people role playing are going to recognize you as saying that out loud. If it's just your thoughts, just use that in your paragraph. So say I really didn't like someone. And that's another thing, like limit like hostile things. So we'll get into that in a second about the different types of rules. But like, say you walk into a place and you see someone you don't like, don't trash talk her in your head and prevent her from being able to say something back. People used to do that to me all the time. It would drive me crazy. Like someone would have an issue with me in character and they would just sit there and like trash talk the crap out of me, but in dialogue they would just say hi. So like, all right, you just spent a whole paragraph trash talking me and I can't respond to you because technically those are your thoughts. So you really just gotta get it out in dialogue. If you have a problem with someone, say it out loud. either otherwise you're gonna just be having like a thought battle back and forth. Like it gets crazy. But so say you were thinking of something, so I'm gonna write a new one. Let me delete this one. So say I was like, walked in to the bar, noticed John, and thought, I don't know, thought John sucks. Ooh, sucks. She put on a fake smile and waved, Scott saying, "Hey, John." But like, so there are cues where he would understand, like, I clearly have a problem. One, I'm fake smiling. He kind of knows what was going through my head, but he's just going to respond to the hey. He could respond to my temperament because I said I put on a fake smile. So you kind of want to like relate what you're thinking to an actual action that someone can relate to. That's going to make your role play so much more fun because now that person can react. Like, you had an attitude and you came at me. I can either choose to give you attitude back or like full blown say something about it. It'll be fun. Damn it, Johnny. Right. And yeah, Baby Bun, you can usually search for roleplay, but granted, when you search roleplay, a bunch of different types of sims are going to come up. Just because it says roleplay doesn't mean like people are doing this, because people of course also consider BU a type of roleplay, right? So it's not necessarily like text focused, it's just more of like lifestyle roleplay. So there are a bunch of different places you can find. When people like family roleplay, community, usually those are just like you, it's a lifestyle roleplay. It's not necessarily like a text type roleplay. I think what we're trying to achieve with Bayside is being a little bit of both lifestyle roleplay and also text or voice, as you guys mentioned, type of roleplay. Screw you, John. Alright, so we went over in character and out of character. Let's talk about limits, because the other thing that you want to do when you're starting off in a roleplay is figuring out what your limits are. Usually people, does Eugen still have hers up? Because usually people will put a whole pic in their profile with their limits, just so people know. Like, one, you can't kill me. If there are things you just don't want to experience in roleplay, put them in your limits, because it's completely up to you how you want to live. So say maybe you do want to be like the neighborhood drug dealer who just seems to skirt the law all the time, and your limit is getting arrested. Like, I don't want to play getting arrested. I don't want to be in jail. That's a limit for me. It's off limits. I'm going to hers. Oh, she doesn't have any. She has her Woodcrest. Nope. Does Graham? I'm going to them because they both actively roleplay. No. Oh, but this is a good example. So Graham, Woodcrest University is another cool roleplay sim too. I went there ages ago. But yeah, you see his profile pic, it kind of shows Graham V was his name. He was 27. His hometown was Beverly Hills. Family dead to him. So his whole backstory is here. He doesn't have a limits one. I don't think Graham had limits, to be honest. Let me see. What's the difference between voice RP? Yeah, voice roleplay. I don't know if they could really I don't know if a voice roleplay and a text roleplay could work together, because usually with text roleplay, so like the emoting that I just did, usually there's a turn, like people go in turns, you know, just kind of all blurt out all your emotes at the same time. So if you're new to the scene, of course, you're going to interrupt the turn flow. So then the next person would go, the next person would go, and then it will come back to you. So you go in order. But with voice roleplay, you're just speaking. So you can't necessarily like sit there and awkwardly wait for your turn. So that's why I don't know, voice and text can work together like in one scene. But you know, maybe you just go into a voice roleplay and stick with other voice role players for that scene. And sometimes you do text. Like, I think it's flexible. You get to really choose how you want to roleplay. I haven't been to all that many sims that are text and allow voice. They usually have voice off. We're gonna keep voice on so you can voice if you want to, and if you're just text focused only, then just turn your voice off. You don't have to listen. But other good things to leave on limits. I'm kind of excited about this place because I feel like the reason I stopped role playing was because no matter what the scene was, people there would try to force you into sex. Like, they want to force you into sex, and like all role play has to lead to sex or something. And that's not the case for me. I didn't want it. It was in my limits. But I think we have this opportunity to be a woman-owned sim, like our own roleplay sim, where that's not like the foreground. It doesn't have to all lead there. It's not necessary. But for me, that was the limit. Like, no, we're not gonna have sex. Even if it like comes up in our scene for whatever reason. For my stories, it never made sense that there would be a sex scene. But I'm like, even if it comes up, we're not about to roleplay the sex scene. Sorry. We're gonna leave that to monarchy. But yeah, just remember, express your limits. As a role player, you know, kind of check out the limits of the people you're role playing with. If there's something that you question, or you know, if you don't know if they're cool with, just hop in their IMs and ask them. Usually roleplay happens in local. That's another thing. So you can involve a few different people. Sometimes if there's like a busy environment, so say the restaurant here was full and you wanted to stick to the people at your own table, usually it's good to open a conference and just roleplay there. But always hop in someone IMs if you think something might be going over someone's limit, or if you feel uncomfortable with something, you know, just hop in their IMs like, oh, that's actually a limit for me. We're not gonna go there. Cup of Bleach, I don't know how you voice roleplay. Honestly, I just would assume my character and have conversations. And I think there's a lot that you can like learn about a character from just like, you know, the way they speak. Text, it's hard to read people and it's hard to understand how they're saying things, so that's why it's more descriptive. But you know, if we're on voice and someone's like, ooh, I don't like him, I don't like John, you know, you can walk up like, hey John. So bring out your acting skills if you want to voice roleplay. For me, I do not emote and voice. I cringe at it. I can't do it. It's awkward for me. So I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Here, I like the text roleplay. I really like the art of it. I really feel like it's like writing a story with other people. And that's what I want with Bayside. Like, I honestly want us to have developed a story together. So I also put in a little section called the Bayside City Times, because all of my favorite roleplay places also had a newspaper. So it's like you're all progressively building the city together and building the stories of the city together, and it can be really cool. I don't know why I'm picking on John. I actually know John. Sorry, John. All right, so that's consent and limits. I never really got into like lore type stuff, but if you are going to a sim, so say you're going to a fantasy or a vampire sim or something, you really want to like read up on kind of what the lore of the sim is, so you're not just like breaking rules. Like, say you're going to a vampire sim and you're talking about your glittering like Twilight or twinkling like Twilight, but that's not a part of their vampire situation. So I would just always look, like, really understand the sim that you're playing on. Sorry, John. I really hope like the John that I know doesn't watch and like, damn, you still mad at me? Because I did have a little tiff with someone named John this week, but I didn't mean to pick his name. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't do much fantasy roleplay, so I don't know much about that. You guys tell me your experience with like dealing with lore and all of that. I don't know. All I know is like if you are too off base with lore, people will just like not engage with you. Hannah, just feel free to drop it in the Second Life help. Wait, let me see. Add to one another. What? Oh yeah, we should. I'll make a channel for it if you want to practice some roleplay, or if you want to start building your story up before we open. I think that would be so cool for some of you guys already to know each other, like in character. It would be super fun. And Sasha, the link for what? For the Discord? I'm gonna put the link to the website really quick because I don't think I've done that yet. There are a few pages that aren't completed, so check those out. Ooh, where's my OBS screen? Thank you, the Grand Theft Master 105. Yes, girl. Yeah, good point, Sonia. Yeah, usually they have a website if it's like a fantasy, because there's so many different rules in fantasy. So our sim, there's a little bit of a fantasy element. I didn't go too deep into it, but I previously owned a roleplay sim that had, witches, vampires, fairies, and wolves. Don't ask me. It was a very complicated story. But this one, I hint at the fact that there may be people practicing witchcraft or possibly practicing voodoo. I don't explicitly say that's what's going on in this town, so I think there's opportunity to roleplay some supernatural stuff. I didn't even get into the story of it. I created no lore for it. You guys can create your own rules for whatever. Create your own covens if you feel like, do what you want to do. But there's something supernatural happening in the city that no one wants to talk about, and that's what kind of brings like this facade, this perfect city life. It's almost like Stepford Wives meets like Stephen King. That's what I'm going for with Bayside. Yes, Creo. Because at the end of the backstory, so if you read the Bayside City backstory, at the end of it, it hints at the fact that, so the Vanderbuilt family, which is going to be Meela. So in the next episode of the Vanderbuilt Diaries, you're going to actually be with Meela as she purchases a city. Like, one, how do you even buy a city? But Meela got to that point where she purchased the whole city. But of course, she's purchasing a city that is full of residents. So we're going to figure out like how she came in to acquire this city, what she had to go through to get it. And then like the more she's in this town, people are starting to suspect that she may be either a descendant or like a reincarnated version of this family called the Ailes. So I'm going to be dropping shit about the Ailes family all the time and random things, because so they're supposed to be this like old ass family that is rumored to have put this curse on Bayside. So yeah, I'm gonna have fun with that. It's just like I wanted something a little supernatural, but like no, I didn't want it to like impact the whole town where you felt like you had to RP it. But I wanted a little bit of supernatural city. I read the word city and said city. Anyway, let's talk about just randomly just how to respect other role players. Like I mentioned this, if you're in a group setting, try to be inviting to people trying to, you know, come into the scene. Don't just like completely ignore someone. If you see someone making an effort, you know, acknowledge them, bring that into your paragraph, even if it kind of derails the conversation you're having. So maybe you're fighting with John and Meela walks in and she's like, hey, and you're about to like write out your scene to John, and like in the middle of it you like glance over at Meela, like you type in glanced at Meela, decided to ignore her, go back to my fight with John. So that way I could be over here like Meela's like, oh, this girl did not just give me a side eye like that, so I'm gonna respond to that. Oh, Ellie, I love it. I grew up very close to Salem, so I'm here for it. Maybe that's why I love it. But so yeah, acknowledge other players. Also, don't try to like force yourself to be the focus of the scene. Like, let things flow out naturally. Don't try to like hog the limelight. What you'll find with tech stuff is like you really kind of want to give everyone the opportunity to speak. Everyone like in your direct roleplay circle. So if there's like 2 or 3 of you, let those other 2 people speak before you jump in and speak again. What I usually like to do, as someone else might say something, I want to respond to it, I'm gonna start typing like as soon as I see it, so I can type my response to them. But I'm gonna wait for that other person to go first, you know, take their turn. Maybe I add on to the paragraph what I want to say to them. So that's how para emoting comes to be. You don't necessarily just like create this long drawn out paragraph for no reason at all, describing like the flow of your nose hairs and shit that like no one cares about. It's really because you just kind of pile on stuff that from other people and reactions from other people that are saying. Yes, Rosita, that's what it's for. No, okay. Another thing to keep in mind, like, open yourself up to consequences. If you decide to throw a punch at someone, they're gonna try to throw one back. Don't try to act like you're Spider-Man all of a sudden and you can't be punched. Like, open yourself up to different consequences. That's like if you're a criminal and you are dealing drugs on the corner, open yourself up to the fact that a cop may come by and arrest you. Like, try to make it realistic and just like open yourself up to consequences. Ultimately, it's going to be your choice, like, you know, how deep consequences you're going to be able to get into. But people will be more apt to want to play with you if you're not like trying to control the game like that. But yeah, open yourself up, wait for people to post, try not to walk away for roleplay in progress. Like, try to write yourself out of the scene. Dude, nose hairs be relevant because sometimes your nose hairs are showing, and if your character is anything like me, I'm gonna notice and I'm gonna focus on them and be distracted and write about how distracted I am with your nose hairs. I'm staring at them, you know. These are the details that make roleplay fun. But yeah, don't walk off to roleplay in progress. Try to write yourself out of a scene just as respect. If it's sudden and you really just have to go, sometimes you have to just throw it into your OOC brackets, like your little, you know, brackets like you see how Reyna's look here. Throw those up. I think in Firestorm you can just type whatever you want to type, then hit Alt Enter, and then it'll do it for you. Maybe it's something in my preferences that I don't have set up, but usually it'll do that. I want to look because I swore auto close, but how would I do it? I don't know. It's so different in Black Dragon. But if you search OOC in whatever viewer you're in, you'll see what the command is. Otherwise, you can just type it. Like, if you're like, I gotta go run, just put it in like that. People will know that you're leaving. People usually do the double because sometimes in text you might have one parenthesis, so people usually do double so you can completely get away from it. I'm gonna go into metagaming in a minute. But yeah. Anything that's out of character, always remember to try to put those in brackets. Like, even saying LOL. I know a lot of people that roleplay don't like seeing LOL. Like, you would, instead of saying LOL, you would do, you know, /me command laughs. And it would look like that. But if something is like, it tickles you, like, try to limit OOC stuff. You know, you could always throw that in a chat somewhere, but sometimes it's just funny in roleplay and you gotta like go out of character for a second and be like, you are ridiculous. Okay, continue. So yeah, let's talk about it. So there are these different terms. There's power gaming, there's god modding, and metagaming, which you gotta avoid in roleplay. So metagaming is basically like, let me see. It's like taking information that you know out of character and bringing that into your roleplay. I'm trying to think of an example. I don't know. You guys that know what metagaming is, because I always mix metagaming and power gaming up. But metagaming, yeah, it's like taking information that you learn out of character and using that within your roleplay. So say like Creo and Heartland are over here, you know, deciding they want to become a coven, and Jacqueline is like, oh, I saw them talking about that in the chat. I know they're witches, so I'm gonna, in roleplay, point them out as witches. Like, that would be metagaming. Like, you can't do that. You really have to learn about other people within the roleplay to use it for them in the roleplay. Did I get that right? I think I'll put these definitions on the site too, because I'll put it on my blog and I'll put it on the Bayside City site because I feel like it's just useful. I hope I'm explaining these right. Either way, just don't do that. Whatever it's called, just don't do that. So there's this other thing called god modding. So god modding is when you control another person's character. So say you decided say I want to punch John in the face. I can't just punch John in the face because there's a world of possibilities. Like, say I slipped, or say John just moved out of the way because I'm slow as shit. I can't say I punched him in the face. I could say I threw a punch to John, but ultimately it's going to be up to John whether he gets punched in the face or not. So you can't choose John to have been punched in the face. You can't say I punched John in the face and he fell back. Like, no, it's up to John to say he got hit and he fell back. So you can't choose, you know, what happens to other characters. They really have to write it themselves. So that's what god modding is. You can only emote your own actions, not the actions of anyone else. Just keep that in mind. Tilapia salmonella. I'm here for it. And then there's power gaming. So that kind of goes back to what I was mentioning before. Like, don't make yourself invincible. So, you know, John, maybe you got punched in the face. Like, don't make it like you're Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, and can't, you know, you're just invincible to anything coming your way. Manit, you will end up being a writing prodigy. We do expect like very good quality. You don't have to get hired. You have to have a basic understanding and put effort in. But, you know, the longer you work there, the better we expect you to get. So yeah, eventually. Ellie, I don't really do roleplay HUDs. I don't think we're not going to do any type of combat on the sim for now anyway. I don't think we're going to have a HUD. But yeah, don't make it impossible for you to get hurt or anything. That is power gaming. People will just choose to not play with you and like ignore you. And it's just annoying. Like, everybody's been in a fight. You ain't, maybe I tried to punch John in the face and he moved and I ended up like striking his collarbone or something. Like, you gonna get hit. Don't power game. So metagaming is taking information out of character to use within a role playing. God modding is choosing someone else's actions. And then power gaming is making yourself invincible. Avoid all three of these. Nobody likes it. It's not fun to play with you if you do all that. Also there's this like concept, like, don't make yourself good at everything, like a jack of all trades situation. Like, some people all of a sudden, I don't know, just make it realistic. Like, don't make yourself the plumber and the doctor and the lawyer. Like, just write a solid backstory. Write bundles. Like, can't nobody dodge like that all the time. And yeah, those are the big rules that I can think of. I'm gonna have to like write all of these out. I didn't do that in advance right now. I just have some notes here, but I'm gonna put them in both places on my blog. But there is a page on Bayside City. We're gonna have rules of the sim, of course, but then also role play rules, because those are the ones that we kind of expect everyone to stick to. Like, just no metagaming, no god modding, no power gaming. And then let's see. We went over how to emote. Yeah, I don't know. What else? Can you guys think of anything else? Right? Be the plumber and the president, neurosurgeon and the garbage man. First of all, I was thinking about actually having garbage men and like having, because there is a system where you can collect garbage. Like, everyone could bring their bins out to the corner of their street and actually have garbage come by. I set up a bus system. So there are buses that'll be going around. We have taxis. I think it'll be fun. Oh, cool. Always down for that. So the Vanderbilt, we love having live musicians. So just hit me up for that. We're always down. And I feel like this is going to be that environment where you can just like do your thing. So if you're a resident on the sim, I think you'll have lots of options because, oh, that's the other thing I haven't even brought up yet. Are we done? Are we done with like talking about roleplay so I can just like stand my own sim? I was telling Ray earlier, I was like, I just think I'm in a cocky mood. Like, you know, you just like get in those moods. I'm having like one of those moments. I'm just like A+ for me. But anyway, the other bomb thing about our sim, so not only is it residential and roleplay, but we have all of these like open spaces that are going to be available for businesses. And like, this could be your own roleplay business. This can be a real business where you sell merchandise. So we're going to have applications for either running a sim owned business. So there are a couple of different cafes outside of the Vanderbilt. Like, you can choose to be the, you know, manager of a roleplay business, do your thing, but you can also create your own other businesses. So the only thing is, like, we're gonna aesthetically, it kind of has to match, it has to look as good of quality as everything else, but we're also gonna have like lots of help for you if you want to do that. But there are all these options for businesses, and really get creative as you want to. Like, I was thinking of having Meela have like a little art gallery, but that's what just made me think. So I was like, maybe there's like a cool little like open mic cafe that someone has, and you guys just, you know, do your thing on voice and you sing as often as you want to. As like a business owner, you would have the option to do it as often as you want to, and you could like alert the group that a show is going on. Like really, what I love about roleplay sims, it puts the power in your hands. Like you don't have to wait for me to approve you to go sing at the Monarchy. I mean, not the Monarchy, at the Vanderbilt. You could just, you know, grab your stuff, go head to the beach, put out your little tip jar, and sing. Yes, form a boy band. Oh my god, it would be so epic. Let me show you guys these condos. I haven't decided where I'm gonna live. Me and Ray have been playing around with the idea of moving into one of the condos because these condos are huge. I think they're like 2 bedrooms, but the condos are my favorite so far. You guys know I love living in apartments. The only thing about apartments, of course, you're not on your own parcel, so you could technically sometimes hear other people or see other text or possibly hear them on voice, but I love apartments anyway. I don't care if I hear people. But this is one of the condos. These things are huge. Like, I was thinking I was gonna have a nice nice small little condo situation. Not at all. They're massive. And they all have like their own walk-in closets. The bedrooms are huge. Oh, I just like, I should be in here. Let me, I can't cam around. Yes, a spa. See, I'm not going to create all of these places. I don't want to just like create the city that you guys are going to be a part of. I want you to have the opportunity to build all the places you want. But that's a really cool idea. I'm going to show you guys. We have this, I want to call it Little Tokyo, but I can't find anything with Japanese characters, so it might just be Chinatown. But we have a little Chinatown area that has like grungier shops, and I was like, this would be really cool to have like a tattoo parlor over here. It would be super fun. Hey, Pixel. So this is the condo that's like too big for me. I can't ever find my way around. This is like my house. Let's see. I think this is the bedroom. One of the bedrooms. So this is the smaller bedroom. There's a master bedroom in here somewhere. But these are cute. Yes, I love condos. Honestly, if you're not like obsessed with privacy, condos are fine. Oh, this is the master bedroom. There's a master bath. You have your own balcony. Like, I'm so here for this. You get a nice view of the city and this. So the city is very loosely based on LA. What I love about LA is all of the street art, and I feel like no sim that's supposed to be Los Angeles has captured that yet. So I had to throw in street art all around. There's gonna be so much more too. There's gonna be a lot of like Banksy inspired things, but this is my favorite because this is this ended up looking exactly like the building across from me because they have the same situation. They have this huge like street art thing on the wall, and it changes up like every few months, and I'm always shocked. But anyway, that's that. Yes, go get your coffee shop. There's a little cafe over here. I honestly copied this. I took this from another sim. Like my old sim had Meela's cafe, and this was it, and I just picked it up and dropped it here. I haven't figured out what I want it to look like, but this is gonna be my little spot. I'll probably be in here behind this counter often. But what's fun, because we had to give homage to Runyon. So there's a little hiking trail that you'll find up here too. So you can go hiking whenever you want. But that is very much inspired by Runyon. If you guys know anything about that. I'm trying like not to cam out too far because the sim's not completely finished yet. Literally, Ray and I, we planned out for too long. We were finally like, let's just dive in and do this. So we just only recently started putting this all together. I thought it would be cool to have tennis like directly on the water. So I'm actually building this dock out here. And I'm going to put some bleachers and stuff because y'all know I love tennis. I can't not have tennis. Uh-oh, see? More street art. Little bit of Banksy. More like storefronts. So these could honestly be real stores, or they could be like role play businesses. Ignore all the floating stuff, like seriously. I'm trying like not to come out too far. Oh, and what's fun, there is going to be a community BU garden, because you guys know I love BU so far and gardening. So we have a community garden for BU. Welcome back, Leah. Oh yeah, there aren't gonna be. So ignore how choppy this looks. This is literally, we're just getting to it. So this is a gas station. I always like the grungy jobs. Like when I go role playing, I would want to be the gas station attendant. So like all those opportunities, every single business here is gonna have an opportunity for you to have a role play job. The Vanderbilt is kind of a mix. It's a mix between role play jobs, but also we hire people to provide waitressing services, so you can actually make some London. Haven't finished this area yet, but this is gonna be our little Tokyo. Even though there's like a mix, I think there's a mix between like Japanese, Chinese, and Korean over here, so it is what it is. But these are the grungier apartments, because I know some people just like living grungy in SL. Like I am that person who also likes a grungy life. So we have these smaller, like grungier apartments for people that are kind of into that. And these are over in Little Tokyo. I haven't decided if I want to call it Little Tokyo or Koreatown. Those are my two favorite areas in LA. Super excited. Yeah, Matthew, get into BU. So Perch will be opening on Sim. So I know you guys always see Perch at the Vanderbilt, but it's never open. It's because Perch is meant to be completely BU. So Perch will be the BU restaurant. You can be a chef. We're also gonna do so in LA, downtown LA, every Sunday from like, I think it's like 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. there's a farmer's market. I was thinking bringing that to the Sim as well, like every Sunday having a full-blown farmer's market at the Vanderbilt and letting people actually sell the produce from their garden. There's not gonna be a university yet because it's just not big enough. There is going to be a clinic, not yet a hospital, because I'm writing it into the backstory that when Meela decided to acquire the city, the locals were very insistent on keeping some of their businesses. And they like rallied against her coming in and didn't want her to change things. So she decided to keep, you know, their police station intact, decided to keep their medical services intact. And she wanted to be diplomatic and show her like appreciation for the city. So she's decided to also like go to this clinic for her baby, her own child. So all of Meela's like pregnancy stuff will be happening at the clinic here on Sim. So when y'all get sick, y'all have a place to go to. When y'all want a baby, you have a place to go to. All of that. Yes, Cole. Get into it. Because you can also sell your produce. So there's going to be a bunch of people who want to like, who are, because I love BU. So I'm going to make as many BU opportunities on Sim as possible. So people that are like into cooking, but don't have a farm, you can sell your produce to them. Right, Heartland? I feel like there also needs to be like, I don't know, anarchies. Yeah, so we do have privacy options. So if you actually rent a house, let's see, let's get over to this house. So say you rent this house. This house is sitting on its own parcel, so it has privacy enabled. You'll have complete control of security. People won't be able to see you. They won't be able to see your text. They won't be able to hear your voice or anything. That's your own private parcel. So if you do like want to live in a community but you want your own private space, I recommend the houses that are available because then you'll have some privacy. So apartments are going to range. The big condos will most likely be in the 1,000 to 1,200 a week zone for like 500 to 600 prims because they're big. Right now I'm going to go and like fully decorate it and see how many prims I really use up. I think I'm anticipating at least 500. But the smaller apartments, we're thinking of keeping those really affordable, like maybe like 300 linden a week. So those ones are going to be cheaper. The actual houses, they're bigger and they range in size. There are going to be there are smaller apartments too. So if you still want the apartment vibe, but you want some privacy, we have these. So all of these are very much like the Monarchy. Ignore, they're not completely built out yet. I'll be finishing that this week. Don't worry. I'm fast. But these are going to be on their own separate parcels. So you get to still kind of feel like you're in an apartment, but you have your own separate parcel. This is actually going to be a little supermarket, which I'm super excited about. What else? Yeah, cup of bleach. I mean, it's up to you. Like, you have your option for privacy and when you want to be social. No, Matthew. So if you actually cook as well, you can sell meals. So right now at the Vanderbilt, so at the Faith and Flower restaurant, if people want, so first of all, everything's expensive, so it costs a lot of money to make meals, but I also like have them for sale. So like we chef it up a couple times a week and we throw out a bunch of meals, and they, you know, they range. Exactly, Leah. That's what I was trying to stick to. I was like, so if someone's paying premium, they have that 300 to spend. I want there to be something available for them. Also, we're also like going off of other roleplay sims, so you see that there are cars about. Most roleplay sims, or the ones that I've liked anyway, you have to have a license to drive, because if you get pulled over without a license, you can have a potential police situation on your hands. That's how I got arrested when I used to play on Dead End. I was driving around the sim, but I didn't have a license, and I got arrested. So we're gonna have a situation where you have to get a license. Yes, you can bring your BU stuff, and people are making BU stuff so cute lately. So I think it could be really cute. Wait, what broke the stream? What are you talking about? Yeah, so if you want privacy, just rent a house, because all of the houses, you're on your own parcel. If anyone comes in that's not supposed to be there, you have the security rights to get them out. So do you, boo. We're also thinking of potentially putting a couple of SLBNB properties here, so if you just want a vacation. And also remember, this is the first sim, so usually the idea is, so this is our first sim, this is going to house the Vanderbilt. The next sim we build, it actually is going to be it's going to be connected, but it's on a separate island, so you're going to have to take a ferry to get to it, and that's where the home of the new monarchy is. So that parcel, or that sim, will be adult, and it'll have a couple more roleplay opportunities, but of course it'll also house the monarchy, so I can finally bring all my businesses to one location. And then, of course, the busier we get, we'll just continue to grow and have more opportunities. So if this one fills up fast, we'll put on a second sim, and maybe that's when we bring in like schools or hospitals or whatever you guys want. So I'm really gonna let you guys kind of be the voice of the city and decide, you know, what you want to see here. I'm leaving all of these storefronts completely open, so you can decide if you want them to be stores, if you want them to be roleplay businesses, if you want them to be your own gallery or your own cafe, or maybe your own BU produce market, like whatever you want these to be. If you want to make money from them, or if you want them just to be a roleplay place, it's completely in your hands. That was important to me. Backstory is important to me because I love to write, and I'm really thinking this might motivate me to like get out of my writer's block situation. But that's all I have for you guys. Yes, I want to see some anarchy. Like so read the backstory, because I think once you read the backstory you'll get it, because there's this group of people, for whatever reason they're hiding their true identity, but I feel like there needs to be like a small sector of that group of people that's like, you know what, I'm sick of hiding, let's rise up. Who does this family think they are, coming in and buying our town? They don't own us. And you know, I'm gonna go wild, I'm gonna arrest everybody. But I don't own anything. Like, I don't own the people, I don't own the police, I just own the town. So it'll be fun. SL is the only virtual world currently. I'm currently looking into other ones. I do play The Sims. That's, I guess, not the same, but I'm gonna try to create more videos on all of that soon. Yes, community website is coming, so it's up already, it's not completed. There'll be sections there where you guys can also post. Because so my favorite sim was this place called Asphyxiation Point. It wasn't anything crazy, that was just the name of it. It was like supposed to be because the rocks are crazy or something, but they had their own newspaper. So one of the role players in the town had one of these, like, you know, I don't know, I keep calling them storefronts, but they could be whatever. But there was a storefront there that was like the office for the newspaper, and they role played really running a newspaper. So they took advertisements, they put stories together, they posted them on the roleplay website. People really knew what was going on in town. They kept up with people in town. Like, these are the possibilities that you guys have to like really create anything. And I'll look for as many opportunities as I can to make sure, you know, I'm kind of encouraging that, because I really, last thing I want to do is just create the world for you guys. I want it to really be like hands-on for you, and the city's gonna be what you want it. I'm super excited about that. I was talking about something else before that. I don't remember. Oh, so the fun thing to get things kicked off. So for everyone who is a resident, we're gonna start off with a murder mystery that, yeah, I'll tab over to the website in a second too. But we're gonna start off with a murder mystery because there's a serial killer loose in Bayside, and basically all residents are gonna be available to participate in the murder mystery. You guys, it can be everyone, like from just townspeople that want to get involved and try to find out who the killer is. Actual police can get involved and find out who the killer is. But either way, you're gonna have to find this killer because murders are just gonna keep happening. So that'll be the murder mystery that introduces it. I'm completely writing it from scratch. I think it'll be super fun for a whole city to take place, you know, in a murder mystery. So let me go over to the Bayside City site really quick just to show you guys. I think we're over time. We're always over time. How did an hour already go by? But let's look really quick. So I put the link. It's a Weebly site because I had to get it up quick. I might develop my own site because you guys know I build websites. So I'll probably develop something a little better after. But right now it's Weebly. But this is the site. This is the Vanderbilt. Here are some of the neighborhoods. This is just like really telling you everything. But for the wait list, if you scroll all the way down, there's a button here that says join the wait list for a first look. So we're going to message everyone on the wait list to come by first before we open to the public, so you can figure out like where you want to live, get your rental situated before we actually advertise it, because we want to make sure you guys have space. The about just has more details on the sim. Again, you are not required to roleplay if you live here. That's just like if you want to roleplay. You can completely live here and enjoy all the amenities, you know, at your leisure. You do not have to roleplay. The rentals page, once we get everyone on the wait list situated, then we'll put all the rentals here. Some of them are super posh. Like you'll notice this one on the right has these cute ass fireplaces. Like some are very posh. The rules are coming soon because we'll have general sim rules. Again, we want to respect everyone, both role players, residents, and just visitors alike, because it's going to be a very versatile place that has all types of people. They're going to be separate groups, so you'll know, like, if you have a roleplay tag on, that's a role player, those kind of things. So we'll dive into all of that. If you go to the roleplay tab, you can dive into the backstory. I'm also just going to put the roleplay guides here, so general roleplay rules that you're accepting by coming onto the sim. But I recommend reading the backstory and starting to write your backstory. I'll create a channel on the Discord server because I'm really excited about, I didn't even think about that, but I think it'll be really cool to start the roleplay first and then bring it to sim. Here for it. Applications will be coming soon because we have, of course, these public spaces that need to be filled. So the police department, cafe employees, Vanderbilt employees, I'm still trying to figure out because Vanderbilt employees make tips, so they actually make money. So I haven't figured out if we'll do that through Bayside City or if we'll just keep it with its current application process. Either way, there'll be applications here. Also, if you have an idea for a business, you'll have to just apply for your business. It'll be a really short application, probably just, you know, the name of your business, so I know what to put on the store, and then just some details about it so we know what to put in our little newspaper, which will be located here. We'll have all of our news. It's called the Bayside City Times. Of course, it's empty right now, but we'll start it off with the murder. So the first news story will be about the murders that are happening, and then we'll slowly discover it's a serial killer. So that is the website. Go check it out. It's baysidecityrp.weebly.com. I put it in the chat. I'll also put it in the description. You won't get murdered. So I didn't want to get murdered either. I also feel like if you do want to get murdered, let me know. But I'm going to put in some non-present NPCs. I totally didn't bring that up. NPCs are like, what is it? Non-present characters, non-playing characters, something. They just people that ain't really playing, but they're there. So we're probably just going to kill all the NPCs. And you know I'm a bots person, so we'll kill all the bots. Did I have that many emails? Oh, I do. Yeah, sorry. But I'll create a Bayside City channel on Discord, so if you want to start, and if you're interested in some of these, I honestly think the most fun will be the police department. Like, I really hope you guys want to be police officers, because that'll be super fun. Yeah, murder's metagaming unless the person getting murdered is a participant. So, like, when I left Dead End, I was murdered. and we set it up. We set up the scene. I left my avatar there and I watched them role play, like all the cops coming and trying to figure out what happened, and they were interviewing witnesses, and it was a whole thing. And I think it probably is still on the Dead End website if you search for it. My name was Alea Abramovich, and I was the ice pick killer, and someone ended up killing me. But yeah, if you like I said, if you want to get murdered, and again, it's not like your avatar, it's your character. So maybe you have one character named Billy Bob, and you're gonna play Billy Bob for the first week and get killed, but you're gonna come back as, you know, Daryl. Manatee, that is completely up to your fellow role players. Are there gonna be other jobs? What other businesses are gonna pop up in town? Totally up to you guys. I have a police officer out uniform. I might have to pull that out. I haven't decided, because I'm that person. So I've seen people like bounce around with different characters on the same avatar, like you just change it up. I low-key want, thank you Mr. Motion for following, but I might resurrect an alt to roleplay a couple different characters here. What is Wolf Tactics? Is that the place where I got the, why does it sound familiar? I will take all the help I can get, so I don't know what Wolf Tactics is. I feel like I got something from there, so the answer is yes. Yes, barista. So if you want, so the focus is around the Vanderbilt, right? That's where everyone comes to brush shoulders with like the social elite and like really fake it till they make it, because they're all hiding secrets, but they're trying to put on a good front. So that all happens at the Vanderbilt. So if you want to be like, just read the backstory, you'll get it. Be a barista at the Vanderbilt. But there's, what, 3 or 4 restaurants at the Vanderbilt? So yeah, you have Faith and Flower, you're gonna have Perch, you have Lab Gaming Bar. So yeah. Yes, Daryl is the king of like alts. You guys, this was so much fun. I was really concerned I wouldn't have enough to cover or talk about or like show you, because I've been standing here this whole time in the same outfit I've had on all week. If you see me, don't say anything. But yeah. That's all I can think of, guys. I gotta go look up what Wolf Tactics is. Let me copy this comment. But I hope to see you guys soon. If you're not in Discord, join the Discord. The link is in the description. I'm gonna create a Bayside City channel. Let's like start the roleplay and then let's bring it to Sim. I'm super excited. But you guys have been so much fun. Thank you so much for watching. I will be seeing you again this weekend, and what I'm excited about are get ready with me. We're actually gonna go brunch style over at B Hayes' new store for Lurlux. I'm super excited to show you guys her store, so we'll be there. And I'll see you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your week.